What is going on, guys? More bringing guys a brand new Busch Gardens video. It's been a few weeks since we made one of these videos, but I'm excited to be back. But before we jump into today's video, my new single Live Again is out now. Wherever you listen to your music, it is the lead single off my upcoming album of the same title that is coming this summer, Live Again. It's an album that's super personal. It's the most personal music I've ever made. It journeys through my life over the last 5 years in pretty much every aspect, spiritually, physically, mentally, all the moments, the ups and the downs. That's what this album kind of journeys through. And I am super excited for you guys to hear it this summer. It's what I'm working every single day on right now. It's just getting it done and fine-tuning it so I can, get the promo run and all that ready to go. But I'm super excited for you guys to hear this album this summer. So make sure to go give my new single a spin after you watch this video. And I hope you are excited for the upcoming album. But I know you guys are here for Busch Gardens content, so that's what I'm going to deliver you guys. Now, this is the maintenance season. The part being year-round, our eyes are opened up more to it now than it has been previous years. But there are questions that are raised every now and then because some things are a little out of the ordinary. Shout out Alex Warren. And so we've seen over the last couple months, a polished chariot has gotten going, and Pompeii is about to get going. Roman Rapids, La Scoot are getting going. All the rides have pretty much come to form. Big Bad Wolf is nearing its opening date. They haven't given us an exact opening date, but we do know it's going to be in May. And so I can't wait for member rides. Can't wait to see some of you guys there at the member early rides and then at the opening. And they're about done, I believe, with the shed for the lockers and stuff that they're building. So once that's done, I think all the construction is good. And then it's just, the ride testing and the permits and all that stuff. There's this one thing that's kind of looming over the rest. Now, I'm not someone that really likes to speak about speculative stuff anymore. Like, there's always a tinfoil hat, like the Le Mans Raceway thing or the Dragonfire thing. Like, pure just let's throw stuff, let's see what would happen. But when you're talking about stuff that's actually going on behind the scenes, you guys know I try to avoid that now. But this is kind of a big thing that everyone is asking questions about. So I've kind of gathered some information. I want to give you guys the facts about what's going on for Verbolten and when we can expect it to be back open. And maybe a little bit of speculation, maybe a little tinfoil hat action. If you live in Virginia, you would know, so far in 2025, we have had pretty much any type of storm you could imagine. Windstorm, rainstorm, snowstorm, any type of storm. We've had tornado watches, warnings in some places. Like, it's been an eventful year weather-wise here in Virginia. Most of the time, our theme parks are able to withstand the strength of the storm. There's always this force majeure event where something just happens that you can't prevent, and it gets in the way. It gets in the way. And so with one of our storms, whether it was the big rainstorm, snowstorm, whatever it was, over in the Verbolten area, I believe one of the maintenance sheds was damaged, if not broken completely. And so they've had to reconstruct that. But also, a tree fell down on a piece of track, broke the track. And so they're having to build the new piece of track, get it imported into the U.S., and then, the whole ride testing, permits, all that stuff. Thing is, just like with their Verbolten a couple months ago, we were talking about that one piece that was in the ride, but it came from overseas, so they can only get it from overseas. Well, Zier, who built Verbolten, is overseas. So that piece of track that they're having to fabricate is now going to come here to the U.S. and they install it, all that. So that's taking a lot of time. You can't just bring a new piece of track to life in a blink of an eye. It takes time. You got to do your measurements. You got to do all these different super physics things. There's a reason I'm a content creator and not some type of scientist. So Verbolten's been down, and everyone was questioning it a couple months ago at the President Q&A. President Kevin kind of said it's going to be probably several weeks out, and maybe a couple months. Well, it's looking like it's probably going to be July. That's what it's looking like. To get the, because you got to fabricate the track, paint the track, get it, like I said, imported, installed. Also, the maintenance shed thing that apparently got destroyed. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I heard that happened. You got to have all your T's crossed and I's dotted when it comes to the maintenance stuff before you're able to run the ride. And also, the building is currently off limits. The building for everything. So this is where we'll get into a little bit of speculation. Some people are like, oh, maybe they're going to bring back the set pieces and fix some of the lighting. Maybe this inspired them to really just kind of go all out with Verbolten's maintenance. I would like that to be true. I have been quite outspoken on this channel throughout vlogs and some of these sit-down videos about my opinion on Verbolten's current state. Pretty much the gist is, it is still a fantastic ride, but it used to be even better. with some of the lighting effects and on-ride effects and sound effects. You go in there now, it's kind of bare bones. You can see things you weren't supposed to be able to see when the ride was constructed, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, a lot of speculation as to why some things are the way they are. Like I said, I'm not jumping into the super speculation part of it, but the cold hard fact is there are things that are not there that used to be there that helped enhance the ride experience. You know, they've taken minor steps over the years. Like, there are some newer lighting effects in there, but they're not as, like, cool or broad as the original ones were. Obviously, the bridge that was destroyed in a windstorm back in 2021 has been reconstructed. This is not the first time this has happened, but when they had that big moment there where they had to reconstruct that didn't necessarily inspire them to necessarily go back inside the building and make a bunch of changes. You know, they had a little bit of an extended maintenance season. Was it 2024? Maybe it was 2023. I think it was 2024. And we thought maybe that was going to be some stuff on the inside. There were rumors about stuff happening on the inside. Nothing happened on the inside. So I think for us, every time Verbolten goes down, to be like, oh, they're fixing this up in the inside. They're fixing all this. They're going to make it just like it was before. You know, it's a lot of hopeless optimism. And I think we just kind of need to let go of that notion. I think truly and honestly, we just kind of got to let go. And if the park decides to do it, we will give them credit where credit's due. But I will say, President Kevin and some things circulating around the park have stated that they are going to make sure that they really focus on theming going forward. There was that kind of a drought in the mid-2010s to now, up until I would say Legend Lives On with Loch Ness Monster. Dark Coaster, I've always said Dark Coaster, you got to take that with a grain of salt because they already had the building there and a lot of the structures, so they just kind of revamped it a little bit. The Legend Lives On with Loch Ness Monster was the first time they really went all out with theming. They built new pieces. They installed a whole freaking, projection screen system in the tunnel with all that stuff. They built a whole statue of the Loch Ness Monster that you run into when you finish the ride. So they had definitely shown that they are taking a reinvestment into the theming. I believe Big Bad Wolf's going to have some really cool stuff. Obviously, we got the village. From what it sounds like at the construction tour, the queue line is going to be pretty cool with a lot of nods and a lot of stuff. And there's a couple nods to Drakenfire. When it comes to Verbolten, and this is just my opinion, no information. This is just my opinion, my prediction. We are not going to be returning to the Verbolten of 2012. Like Verbolten in its prime. We're not going back to that. There's a lot of pieces that would have to get found, refurbished, and put back in place. I don't believe that's happening. And I don't blame them. Everyone loves to ride, and your casual park goers love the rides. And this is something that I had to learn because I was actually watching some of my older Busch Gardens videos from when I first started doing this to now. And you definitely see there's a much more realist approach now than it was then. But now, looking at it, the park, while us members are really important, they care more, I wouldn't say this, but when the opinions of most of your park goers who are just very casual goers, they're like, oh, Verbolten's amazing. Like the whole darkness in the ride and the lights, oh, it was so cool. They might not know what Verbolten used to be. Or even if they had ridden Verbolten years ago, they don't remember the differences between that and this version. They don't know. And frankly, they don't care. It's a fun roller coaster. It gets them out of the sun for a few minutes. It's a lot of fun. There's still cool effects in there. I mean, it's not complete darkness. It's not like it's nothing in there. There's still a lot of cool effects. It's just not as cool as it once was. So I think when the park looks at that, they're like, well, why would we put all this effort into fixing it up if the casual park goers like it as it is now? They don't really have a problem with it. But for us who are like diehards who have ridden it, hundreds of times, we know the differences. I think that's the big disconnect between us like diehard fans of the park and your casual park goer. And I think, and this is the right approach to it, the park's head brass, the front office, if you want to call it, they got to find a medium between the two. They got to make sure they take in what us members want. They do a good job, especially for the last couple of years, of really taking in our opinion. But they also got to know the general park goer, the one that's giving them a lot of money every single day, that's coming on their vacations, what their opinion is going to be. And the park's got to navigate the through line between the two. My opinion. I think we will see some fine-tuning of stuff in the building. I'm not going to say old set pieces are going to return. I'm not going that far. I believe some of the sound effects might get, brought back to normal. The lighting effects that are still in there from the original version of the ride, I think they're going to get tweaked and kind of just revamped a little bit. And maybe some set pieces, maybe a couple here and there. I'm not going to sit here and say I think it's going to be back to Verbolten Prime. I don't think so. I don't think we're ever going to go back to that. But I do believe the park is going to reinvest some time and money into the ride since it's been closed for so long. When it returns in July, quote unquote, or this summer, let's say this summer, when it returns this summer, they want it to be like big, I think. Not like opening the Big Bad Wolf, but they want it to be a moment like, hey, Verbolten has returned. So I don't think it's just going to be they fix the track. You know what I'm saying? I think they are going to do something. I don't think it's going to be major, but I think for us who have ridden the ride so many times over the years, I think they're going to do something, and I think we're going to pick up on it, and I think we're going to appreciate it. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys on social media and stuff have been wondering what's going on with Verbolten. You know, sometimes nature gets in the way, you know, force majeure, as we would have in the film industry. You know, when something you can't mess with nature, you know? You can't stop nature from happening. Sometimes things happen and you just have to roll with the punches. And that's what Busch Gardens is doing right now with Verbolten. But rest assured, guys, I know some people are worried that Verbolten is closing. It is not closing. They have made that very clear. And I'm telling you right now, Verbolten is not closing. It is one of their premier roller coasters. It is one of people's favorite. It is a general public favorite roller coaster. I'm telling you that right now. I know. I've heard. I've taken people, they've ridden all the rides for the first time at the park. Verbolten is a standout. So they are not getting rid of Verbolten. It is only 13 years old. It's going to be around for a long time. They're going to make sure it's around for a long time. But it's going to be back, and it's going to be better than it was before. How much better? Whether that's 10%, 50%, 90%, who knows? It's going to be better because the park is working to improve all the rides and the experiences. And we have to believe that they are going to come through on that promise. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Verbolten situation. What are you guys hoping might return when Verbolten returns this summer? What are you hoping that they're fixing in it? And are you excited for it to return? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, guys. We just hit 1,000 last April, and we're about to hit 2,000, so I can't believe it. I'm so thankful for every one of you who have subscribed to this channel and liked the videos, watched the videos. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 2,000. Join the family. Make sure to hit that bell button so you're notified every single time I put a brand new video to the channel. Like I said, go check out my new song, Live Again, from my upcoming album, Live Again. Wherever you listen to your music, go check out the Patreon for extended Busch Gardens vlogs and behind-the-scenes content from here in the studio and my upcoming album. And my name is Morris, and I'm out. Peace. To find peace and hope that I